What's up, Blizzard Nation? Welcome back to Strictly Blizzness, episode 173, presented by Edge VR Arcade, Creative Edge Productions, and Cousin Subs, where with promo code
GBB Fries,
you can get, what is it, Joey? How many of these do you watch?
I just know what I was going to say.
Boom.
Give me the code. I know the code by heart now.
You can get a
BBB
7.5. You get fries with a 7.5 inch sub.
You almost said you get a sub free.
Scratch that, reverse that. You get free fries with a 7.5 inch sub or a sub and in a bowl purchase. Welcome, Joey Bonadonna, voice of your Green Bay Blizzard on the IFL network.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. And thanks for having me, Kathy.
Actually, that's Lisa. You're Ryan. I'm Joey.
Yeah.
So, off-air
Lisa.
jokes.
We got all kinds of new names today. Sean decided we all look different than who we are.
Yeah, and that's Trevor back behind the camera.
Trevor
I don't know.
is on camera. So, yeah, here we are. We decided, and we had told you already, that we were going to have Joey on the episode. He is one of the lucky contestants. He's one of the lucky guests that gets to be on the entire show because we're going to talk about the game we just had. We're going to talk about an upcoming game a month out and also playoff scenarios. So, Ryan, what do you want to say about the last game?
It was awesome from a
That sounded so convincing.
I didn't know where we were going first. I don't know if we were headed to the table to Joey or there's a lot of things. It was awesome from a I only watched the score. I actually saw no plays, and that is 100% accurate. I was with vet groups and saying hi to sponsors, and it was really awesome from that perspective. I have some messages from the Desert Vets who thought it was incredible that you got to hear your song in front of a crowd when you sponsored Operation Song personally. That wasn't necessarily a Blizzard thing, so that was really cool. It had grown. That Military Night game will continue to grow, and I think I have Desert Vets next week to recap and move forward already. So, yep. It was really cool.
It was. Thank you to Taylor and Operation Song. It was very, of course, for me, it was very emotional. Taylor had told me, make sure I can't see you when I'm singing that song because he uses it as part of his set.
Sure.
And he said it's one of the most impactful songs when he sings it because it's not just about a vet who was gone too soon. It's about love and family and things of that nature. So everyone can relate to losing someone, and that's really what the song is about. So thank you, Taylor, for coming out and doing that song. And I will see him later this summer. We're going to be doing an event up in the North Woods. So
yeah, and I think we will. He said, "See you next year." So I mean, there's no secret that Operation Song will be continually tied to what we do. Huge shout out to Nicolay Bank too, because Frankie Moscato was their idea, and she is she's a coin flip from a good friend of mine, Shelby, and the Life Church crew who can sing too. But now there's some real singers. I was standing on the field because I had to handle the rappelling cue, but like. All our players, and it happened when Shelby and Steph sang at the opener on the new field, they're like, that needs to be every game, which is not necessarily reality, but there are some people that can sing that have done a couple of our games this year. So.
She gave me chills. Yep. And you know what I heard? Three different, because I stopped at 3 different people on the way out. How did she not win is what they said.
Yeah,
how did she not win? Because she has a vocal range and so much power. So yeah, she was.
Yeah, we have a handful that are probably on the short list for playoff games. She would probably be a text or a phone call, and Joey will tell us how we get to a home game eventually here. But yeah, those are the type of people you want in big games as well. So yep,
absolutely.
Yeah, and she has an awesome foundation that you can check out on her website that Nicolay Bank will have donated to, and that's why she came into the national anthem. And she tries to do as many national anthems as she can in Wisconsin. She came from one at 3:30 somewhere in the valley and headed to us. So, yep.
Yeah, and thanks Nicolay Bank because they did a lot for us with that game, and we appreciate their sponsorship. And it was cool to see a vet out on the field.
Yeah.
In relation to
the entire time they sponsored us, that's the first time they've attended their game too. So that was really neat. So, yep.
Hopefully they enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, he did. He had said he asked if this environment ever gets old. I'm like, not usually when you get it right, but it's pretty cool. So, yeah.
And it never gets old. What do you mean when you get it right? What kind of a comment was that?
Sometimes.
Maybe for you, but
right,
not for the people attending. All right. Anything else about the game from a sponsorship partnership perspective, or?
No, a whole bunch of first-time attendees, and it was awesome.
Yeah, got a lot of thank yous from vets, which was cool. A lot of vets for the first time, young and old. So that was cool to see. Let's talk about the game.
Yeah. I mean, 75 points.
75.
75 points, breaking the previous record for most points scored in an IFL game this season of 74, which was also the Green Bay Blizzard twice.
Just want to say.
Yeah. Top 3 points scored in the league this year, 75, 74, 74. 68's the next one, and that was Tulsa when we had to play them in that overtime game, which needed 74 to beat them. But the offense this year's been phenomenal. I'll start the campaign now. Max Myler for MVP and Matt Barrett, assistant coach of the year, for the work that the offense has done this year. It really is a big difference. Last year it was the snow-fly zone. It was the number 1 defense in the league. Now it's the number 1 offense. So it's really going to be a force to be reckoned with. Jacksonville, the number 1 defense in the league coming in. You know, they had some injuries coming in, but put up 75 points, the number 1 offense or number 1 defense in the league. Just yeah.
We didn't make them look like the number 1 defense. No. I will say that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
for sure.
I'll be honest though, and yes, kudos to Max, kudos to Matt, but he isn't always 100% connecting, and yet they can recover, and that's really what's important.
Still can put 75 points up in a game.
Exactly, and he has a lot of opportunities out there with his receivers. He can work any angle. We had a nice kick return.
Andre Williams,
yeah.
three weeks in a row with a kickoff return for a touchdown. That will also really help your offense when you're getting production out of your special teams. You got a forced fumble on special teams. I mean, that really was the turning point. I think the kickoff return for the touchdown and then the forced fumble on special teams as well. That was kind of the nail in the coffin that helped. When you have all 3 facets of the game working, that's going to help.
And I don't think people realize the importance of special teams. They really don't. Even Mevis with, getting a deuce, that's all so important. And it's the one area where, and we'll talk about it in a little bit when we talk about playoffs, but watching Quad Cities put up deuce after deuce after deuce, they scare me. They really scare me.
Yeah, you can have as much as you want on offense. Like, that asset is great to have, obviously. That is the whole point of the game. But in this league, having a kicker that can make a kick from anywhere on the field, Andrew Mevis is one of them. Kyle Kaplan with Quad City is another one. Gabriel Rui with Iowa is another one. There's a long list of kickers that are in this league that you need one of them if you want to be able to have a really good offense. All 3 of those teams have good offenses. So to be able to have a kicker who can produce at any given moment, that is a huge thing to have. And it's great to have Andrew Mevis around, because that is something that you need in your lineup at any given time.
So let's talk about you talked about the final score. Really, I think, because when it first started, I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to go down to the last. Whoever got the ball last is going to win. And then halftime happened, and there was the debacle at halftime where we're all
that needed a perfect storm to happen.
And it happened.
Yeah, you needed Patron to go out of bounds with a second left, because yes, the clock stops at a score during the 1-minute timing rules. You kick the extra point, and all of a sudden Jim says, it's the end of the first half. Like, no, there's a second up on the scoreboard.
So you said that, but we all heard in the promo tunnel, that's the end of the first half. So we're getting ready. We're all going out. We can see there's a second up there, and we thought, well,
are they just going to run this down? Is that what they're doing? Well, then Coach Gibson from Jacksonville comes out to not argue, but like say question. Hey, there's a second still on the clock. I'm like, yeah, he's not wrong. There's a second still up there. So they're like, okay, nope, never mind. There's still a second left. We come out for the kickoff, and Mevis, everyone's ready, but Mevis, I think I heard, did not hear the whistle to start. That they started the play clock.
Okay.
And, well, the play clock's running down, and he doesn't know that he has to start the kickoff. Even though everyone's ready for 25 seconds, the play clock's running down, and there's a delay of game. So that means that there's going to be a 5-yard penalty and an untimed down no matter what. Well, they still go with a squib to try to end the half, which gave Jacksonville a chance to just line up, kick a field goal, get 3 free points. That's what I said on the broadcast, because it really was just
It was very much free.
a couple of mistakes that, I mean, kudos to Jacksonville for,
Staying in it.
I think everyone went to the locker room about 3 separate times during halftime, but they had to keep coming back out. They still had their group out there.
Jacksonville was
They took
literally
advantage of the
gone. They were gone from the field.
They were, I think, legit, everyone was back in the locker room. The only 2 people around the field were both coaches and the officiating crew. And they're just like, all right, come back out. We got to do 2 more plays. The kickoff and the field goal, and Jacksonville took advantage of it, got the 3 points. And I think the second half, we came out with a little bit of an edge. Like, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to take you got your 3 points. We're going to take as much as we possibly can in the second half they got to 75. They got a touchdown, and to get to 75, Mevis had a drop kick point after, which I think I was talking with Larry after. It's like, I don't know if I like that. I'm like, come on, drop kick point after. Like,
why not?
Why not? He can put it on tape.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
Well, it was an exciting game, and I had the opportunity to meet with 2 of the owners who were in the house. And it's funny because the game went by so fast for me, and I was getting up to leave, and he said, oh, hey, I'm going to congratulate you right now on the win. And I saw zeros up there, and I thought, oh my gosh, the game's over already? Well, it was the end of the third quarter. And he said, you guys really are pulling ahead, and we'll see what we can do in the fourth quarter. So kudos to Jacksonville. It was a great rivalry. We'll see them again, no doubt. They will
come into playoff scenarios.
It
down
absolutely will. And now we need them to have a little bit of a vengeance when they play Quad Cities this next week. So
yeah. So that again is going to come in any matchup between the top 4 teams in the East. Mass still has a shouting chance. They're 2 games back of a playoff spot right now, and they keep winning. They just got a big win in Iowa by a few scores. And again, that's always a talented team. New coaching staff coming in here mid-year, but that's a team that it's always going to be hard to beat them. But they still have a fighting chance. They're going to need some things to bounce their way to get into the playoffs. But really, when you look at it, it's those top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference. That's going to be another one next week. Quad City and Jacksonville are 2 teams that are fighting for playoff positioning. Quad City's trying to keep a firm hold on the 1 spot, but we're kind of hoping that they slip up at some point down the line here. We still do control our own destiny for a 1 spot. If we win out, we would get the 1 seed because we would have beaten Quad City, even if they win all their other games. But you don't want to just have to control your own destiny. It'd be nice to have a little bit of help too.
yeah, and we have some games coming up that are not shoo-ins for sure.
This is going to be a very tough stretch.
Yeah. Arizona is one that we have coming up. We have Fisher Freight this coming weekend. Arizona's coming up, and you never know with Kevin Guy. I mean, he's coming off of 3 losses, but even with that being said, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
You just never know. And if his roster changes, if there's any other things that come into play, that would be a tough game. They've already beat us once this year. Granted, that doesn't really apply to the standings in the East, but it does on overall record.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the number 1 tiebreaker is obviously your overall record. Second is your conference. I had to go down the rabbit hole of the tiebreakers because just to determine the standings right now, should us and Quad Cities be tied, have the same overall record, we have the same conference record. We'd also have the same head-to-head record because it's 1-1. We beat them once, they beat us once. That would be solved by the end of the year because we play them a 3rd time. But the 4th tiebreaker is strength of schedule. So that becomes a whole different calculation. I said this a couple weeks ago. This is the only math I will willingly do. Like figuring out the tiebreakers. Your mom gets
so happy when you do this kind of math.
Right. I mean, I'm done with my math. I finished all my math and science credits at UW-Madison. So Now this is the math I will willingly do to figure out where we're all at come for the playoffs. So yeah.
So if the playoffs were today, number 1 seed would be
Quad City,
and 2
Green Bay,
and 3
Tulsa,
and 4.
Jacksonville.
So that's and all of those individuals. There's a lot of Eastern Conference games that are happening within conference these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, so a lot of them are between those 4 teams. I'm pretty sure Tulsa and Jacksonville haven't played yet.
I don't think so.
So they still have to play each other, I think, twice down the home stretch. We still have Quad City again. We still have Jacksonville again. We played Tulsa twice, so we don't have to see them again. All 3 of those teams, I feel like for the first time since the start of conferences, this is the first time I think you can truly say that the 4 playoff teams in the East are better than the 4 playoff teams in the West.
Ooh,
I'm going to say this.
Shots.
I'd say Bay Area would be an anomaly, but I would agree with you otherwise.
I think this is it is all very competitive in the Eastern Conference. I think it's anyone's game. Again, shots fired, but I think this is the first time you can make an argument for it because the West really has been the conference to beat the last 3 years.
They have been.
I think the East has a real shot at it.
So from the West, do you have the West researched?
The West right now, Bay Area is the 1. San Diego, I think Arizona's still the 2, even though they lost, but San Diego's catching up ground. I think Vegas is the 4.
Did you watch the 3 overtimes?
Yes. I saw that it went to overtime. I saw that Tucson was ahead, and I turned it. I thought Tucson had it wrapped up. I did too. So I turned it off. It's like, wow, Tucson. I'm gonna keep doing Tucson. Stop. I thought Tucson had it, and Kevin Guy does his Kevin Guy magic, finds a way to get it to overtime, but it still wasn't enough. Those 3 overtimes couldn't decide it, or it did decide it. Could decide in first or second, and just a crucial mistake in the 3rd overtime. Arizona throws an interception, gives Tucson a chance to win it, and they make a field goal on 4th down to seal the deal. And I think this is the first time since Tucson has joined the league that there was one year where they only played once and Tucson beat Arizona. This is the first time in a multi-game series that Tucson's taken the season series from them. So that was a huge win. Arizona's now lost to them twice. So obviously that is a big upset, a huge comeback from the Sugar Skulls. And yeah, Arizona's got the 3-game losing streak. They go to Bay Area. They welcome us in the week after. So it doesn't get a lot easier for them. It should be. It is going to be very interesting in the West. I think they too also kind of have their 4 teams that have a firm hold on the playoff spots right now. No one really knows what order they're going to be in come the end of the season. I think Bay Area is pretty surefire, the 1 seed, but outside of that, everything else is up for grabs.
Did you watch the Naz game? Because that was another exciting game down to the
No,
end.
I don't think. Who do they play this week?
It
Oh,
was
it was San Diego.
San Diego.
I think
It
Naz.
was San Diego.
Yeah, Naz was up by 2 scores, and San Diego came back and won that one too.
Yes, they came
I didn't
back.
watch it, but I was score
There was
watching.
a lot of hubbubaloo happening on the field. If you have the IFL network, go back and watch the last 5 minutes of that game. I guarantee you. It is definitely one for the books, and definitely what can happen in an IFL game because Naz thought they had that wrapped up.
Yeah, and I'm pretty. This was one part of my math. I think Naz is eliminated now that they lost. That was our first elimination from playoff contention.
Okay.
So Naz needed to win. Now they're 1-10, and I think Vegas is the 4. They have 6 wins. Yeah, this is where the magic number comes into play. We'll get to that in a sec, but I'm pretty sure with the magic number, Northern Arizona has been eliminated from playoff contention.
What about in the East?
So in the East, no one's been eliminated yet. Iowa still is alive. Mathematically, it's probably like a 0.1% chance that they can make the playoffs.
They just have to win out?
They have to win out, and they need Jacksonville, or whoever's the 4, which is Jacksonville, to lose out.
Okay.
So unlikely.
One moment, please.
Yeah.
He
So-
must have had a problem with what I was saying.
Yeah. So in the East, no one's eliminated yet. The magic number right now, we'll jump into that. Magic number for Green Bay to clinch a playoff spot is 4. That is either 4 Blizzard wins or 4 Massachusetts losses, or a combination of the two. So if we win 3 and Massachusetts loses 1, essentially it's a minimum of 2 weeks before we can clinch a playoff spot. And then when it comes to a home playoff game, that might be going down to the very wire because we play Jacksonville the last week of the season. So we will have to likely go on the road to defend home turf.
So Ryan, that game. If
I'm
we,
still here for anybody
Oh, yeah. Hi, Ryan.
still tuned in
Well,
at
you
this
can-
spot.
you can ask a question
got
whenever you
any.
want. So he mentions home playoff. If we have a home playoff, what day is it and what time?
It's the Friday before family night, so it would be
August 1st.
August 1st. That time is not determined by us per Todd's email.
Okay.
It's broadcasting determined. So my guess is 6 or 7, like it always is. But it would be that Friday, August 1st.
Yeah, and we have a lot of exciting stuff happening with playoffs and broadcasts, which we can't announce as of yet, but there's a lot of cool stuff going on with the IFL to wrap out the season. So
Second round would be August 8th because there's a Packer preseason game on the 9th. That's no problem sharing that. So,
yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it'd be really cool to have both games played at home again
Yep.
with a different outcome for the second one. That
Yeah.
would be the hope.
Definitely trying to find the magic from last year. That is definitely the goal. There was the mantra last year of one more. You kind of hoping we get one more season of magic.
We're in
down the stretch.
unfinished territory,
Yeah.
unfinished magic.
Unfinished Blizzness. Yep.
There we go. Here you go. It's unfinished business. All right. Anything else you want to talk about from a standings perspective or numbers perspective?
Those are kind of the numbers you need to know. The 4 teams that are in the playoff picture right now, those are the 4 that you're likely going to see come playoff time. Keep an eye for Massachusetts. They can make a push, but it really does seem like it's the 4 teams right now. And for Green Bay to clinch a playoff spot, they could do it in 2 weeks. We need to win our next 2 games. Massachusetts would need to lose their next 2 to clinch, but until then, we will leave it up to the play on the field. Yep.
Right. Well, Ryan, we have stuff on the table.
We
We normally talk
do.
about that first, but there was too much stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so the next game at home is July 18th, and that is against Massachusetts, actually. So if any of the math Joey just did does not come to fruition with them, that is a pretty crucial game, too, because in theory, we could get the revenge you just spoke about, and we could end their season on
Absolutely.
that game. So
Which would be very cool.
yeah, so Christmas in July, the snow machines will be out. There will be Christmas lights. There will be an amazing first responders event pregame that we will launch pretty soon where you can build a bear, actually in the Rush Expo. So our good friends at Thrivent, Q90, and PCM Credit Union are going to activate the Rush Expo before the game. And it'll be a real cool first responders, Build-A-Bear, Christmas-themed pregame event on the second level up there. So if you've never seen the Rush Expo, it's going to be pretty awesome. You can enter that way into the building. It's going to have a whole bunch of cool stuff coming. So, and this thing is finally here and can be shown. So we have a stocking package, which I believe is $13. It includes the fees and the tickets. And I just got to be careful because the planet changed in ticketing fees about a month ago for everybody. And you have to advertise your price with fees all in now. So I believe it's $13. That's on the website. And you get a ticket, and you don't know where you're sitting until you get to the game. And you'll pick up your stocking and get to open it on Christmas Day, and you'll have your seats.
Well, not Christmas Day,
Yeah. Yeah.
because then that would
You'll
be
have
well
missed
after the game.
And potential other prizes like a home lighting package from ProScape. There's 10 $100 gift cards mixed in from Ken Sports, the Christmas Game Ball, 2026 season tickets. Like, it'll be very, very fun. There's only 2,000 of those available. Still normal tickets available to the game, but this is a dirt cheap way to sit in amazing seats.
Are there any
the July
front row
game.
seats?
There are a
available?
couple mixed in there. Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. Front row, party pit. You will sit no less than a $20-ish ticket and have the ability to sit in even a better spot. So it is a steal.
So what if how does it work then? If you got like 6 people and you buy 6 stockings, they could all be in different seats. Then?
Nope, need to buy together.
Okay.
So that's in every piece of verbiage out there so far that you need to purchase together because can't do that after the fact and still have randomized it. So
Right.
decide who's buying, Venmo them, pay them back, but that purchase needs to come together so we can, when we hit random, we can make sure that you stay with your group in really good seats. So
Excellent.
Yep.
Good. Okay.
The Rest Center and I on game week are sort of dreading it, but we'll see what happens when you're sorting 2,000 and stocking. And our friends at PCM, who are back this year, are going to come in and help us actually stuff stockings when we shut down the stocking link. Normal tickets will still be available, but I think we need to do it 3 days ahead of time. That's what our friends at the Rest have recommended in order to sort all that fun. So
Yeah, so go
Yep.
get your tickets are available now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It literally lives right under the normal link. You can still be like, I don't want to randomly sit and pick wherever you want, right? Those tickets still exist, but the stocking package also exists on greenbayblizzard.com or restcenter.com.
Excellent.
If you want
All
to play in our reindeer games. So
I'm sure we'll have more Christmas shenanigans leading up to that
for
game.
sure. Yeah,
No
I'm
doubt.
really excited. So it'll be a cool. I look back and I actually have a folder labeled Christmas in July, but I think it was the COVID season that pushed that so far back.
Yes.
But like it wasn't like this. We didn't have the snow machines at that
Well,
point.
and
So
but
yeah.
we brought them in, didn't we? I mean,
Think
Wasn't it
so.
21?
Yeah, it might have been.
I think so because we
Yeah.
did our little fancy jingle.
Yeah, we were in.
we were in the
yeah,
other- we were in
yeah.
Nina.
but not like this. This will be a big one. So,
Different.
Yep.
And
I
Joey
think I
does,
may have actual Santa, not Kathy and I, but we'll find out. So,
and I believe Joey doesn't know this yet, but
Oh, boy.
he has to wear a Santa hat on the broadcast.
okay, it was that easy.
And,
I was like, oh, what are we? I was like, okay, Santa hat's
boy,
fine. Santa hat's fine.
and we are going to, with that broadcast, Joey doesn't know this either.
Okay.
We got elves.
We are gonna do some, we'll say Christmas, what everyone would want from Santa. We're gonna play. He's still gonna be the mainstay, but we're gonna rotate some people through, helping him call that game.
All right.
All right.
It's
So-
going to be great, and that is besides the home playoff game, which we all hope we're sharing with you as we approach these weeks here. But there is some great football going on. That is the next chance you can catch Blizzard football, and it's neat. Like when the profile pick switches, or just Nick and Mark, who I actually don't shout out often on this, not Vetrano, Music Nick and Mark. Those two must have actually timed it out, but they actually played Christmas music under his Christmas in July PA read. So great job. That was not a Hobson scripted thing. That was two very talented people who handled that part of our game day, doing that in the moment. It was really neat. So
Yeah.
I think he played it. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas actually under the read. So it was
Very
great.
cool.
So yep.
Very cool. All good stuff. All right. Anything else that anybody's got? That was a pretty big episode,
It
Max
was.
Malek MVP.
except for Matt.
Huge games coming up.
Yeah.
Huge games,
U
lots
Party
of
this
football.
week is D2s. The Arizona game, we will shift to what I've called pickleball theater at the bar on Holmgren. So for that big game against Arizona. So, yep.
Before we wrap up, I will be at Fisher this weekend, and I will be in Arizona. And heading out to Arizona, I want to give a quick shout out.
Yeah.
We have people that watch our show every week from Arizona, and so I'm happy to say that I'm going to be out there. I want to figure out a way that I can meet up with you guys. But a special shout out to Miss Ashley. Ashley watches Strictly every week, and so I want to say, hi, Ashley. Wave to Ashley. Hi, Ashley. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to meeting you, or I look forward to meeting you when I'm out there in a couple weeks. What else we got?
So what we got? Should we hit him with it?
Let's hit him with
The
it.
moment
Joey?
of truth. Are you
Joey,
crossing,
what are you
Joey?
doing?
What am I doing this?
You're doing whatever you
So
wanna
you don't
do.
get hit in the
All right.
face.
Yeah. All right.
Should we hit him with it?
Let's hit him with it.
Go Blizz! Don't forget to like, follow,
Subscribe
share.
and ring that notification bell to get all of our content in your inbox.